A student comes to a Zen master and asks, "Master, how can I attain enlightenment?" The master replies, "Walk to the middle of the bridge and do not think about a pink elephant." The student looks confused. "But how can I not think about a pink elephant?" "If you just mentioned it," the master smiles. Exactly. Of course, this is a modern invention. No such parable ever existed in Buddhism. But the idea behind it is simple. Once someone plants an idea in your mind, it tends to stick there. You try to push it away, but it keeps coming back, often even stronger. This is not mysticism. This is a well-known psychological phenomenon. It is commonly called the pink elephant paradox or the white bear problem. In 1987, social psychologist Daniel Wegner conducted a famous experiment. Participants were told not to think about a white bear. Researchers then measured how often the thought appeared. The results were clear. Thought suppression does not work. In fact, the forbidden thought returns more often and becomes more intrusive. Wegner explained this using ironic process theory. Two mechanisms operate in the brain at the same time. The first is the operating process. This is the conscious system that tries to distract you and replace the unwanted thought with something else. The second is the monitoring process. This is an automatic system that constantly checks whether the forbidden thought has returned. And here is the paradox. To check whether you are thinking about something, the brain has to activate that idea in memory. This creates a loop. The harder you try to suppress a thought, the more often the brain returns to it. This effect becomes stronger under stress, fatigue, or mental overload. Conscious control weakens, but automatic monitoring continues to run. That is why intrusive thoughts in anxiety and OCD are so difficult to eliminate. From a programmer's perspective, this looks like a terrible vulnerability, as if the brain had a direct input channel for infection by ideas. But from an evolutionary perspective, this is actually a strength, not a weakness. The brain is designed for social learning. Humans are an ultra-social species. We constantly copy behavior, gestures, words, and ideas from others. This ability helped our ancestors survive. If someone said, "There is a tiger behind that hill," or "These berries are poisonous," that idea needed to stick immediately for survival. Ideas must remain in memory. They must be remembered, processed, and passed on. Thought suppression, on the other hand, is a relatively recent mechanism. It is tied to language and self-control. But the core brain system is optimized for fast information transmission. This is why ideas often behave like viruses. This concept is known as memetics. In 1976, Richard Dawkins introduced the term meme in his book The Selfish Gene. A meme is a unit of culture that replicates and spreads. Ideas, habits, stories, and beliefs move from person to person and push their carriers to reproduce them further. Cultural evolution became a second inheritance system in humans. Genes change over thousands of years. Memes can spread in years, sometimes even in days. This made language, technology, social norms, and complex societies possible. Our vulnerability to bad ideas and propaganda is the price we pay for fast cultural transmission. Early humans lived in small communities. Most people were closely related. Very few had incentives to spread harmful ideas. So natural selection favored memory and transmission, not filtering. This means the vulnerability is actually a side effect of what made humans human. Without it, there would be no culture, no science, no religion, no civilization. Memes behave like viruses, but they are also the main evolutionary accelerator of our species. The brain is not broken. It is doing exactly what evolution designed it to do: learning from others, retaining information, passing it on. But this creates a built-in vulnerability. So how do we live with it? The answer is surprisingly simple, and it was known long ago, even by the often misunderstood Buddhists. Modern psychology later confirmed it. The solution to the pink elephant problem is not suppression. It is observation. When a thought appears, do not fight it. Just notice it. There's that thought again. And gently shift your attention elsewhere. Without resistance, the monitoring process calms down. The thought loses its power and eventually fades away. Suppression strengthens the thought. Observation dissolves it. Thank you for listening. If you think this was useful or interesting, hit like and subscribe.